R-O-T-A-R-Y is known from land and sea. From north to south, from east to west, it profits most who serves the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is one great family, where friendship lies for man's unleashed, where each one strives its best to give. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is one great family, where friendship lies for man's unleashed, where each one strives its best to give. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. This is 2020-2021 President Rick Morse here of the Carbondale Noon Rotary Club, and I want to welcome everyone to our 100th anniversary, our Centennial Celebration. At this time, we want to recognize our sponsors for this event. We have our generous sponsors to help us support this event and celebrate our 100th anniversary, our AES Solar, Egyptian Electric Cooperative Association, and First Mid Bank and Trust. Thank you to those generous sponsors. We have ongoing today, we have an auction. We commissioned an art piece to celebrate our centennial, and in the chat window shortly, we will have the link for that auction. And at this time, we are going to show you how these auction pieces were made. We commissioned Project Human X of Carbondale, and artist Cree Shahida Glanz was commissioned to do this. She studied biological anthropology and environmental science at SIU, has had experiences across the globe from Quebec to Madagascar. She found that in those environments, the children that she worked with appreciated replanting the shrinking rainforest and telling stories of their surrounding environment through their art. She dreams of initiating more environmental education experiences around the world, beginning in the Carbondale community. So without further ado, here's the video directly from the artist and co-owner of Project Human X.
Hi everybody, welcome to Project Human X Art Center and Gallery. My name is Cree Saida.
And my name is Marquez Scoggin. And this is our lovely daughter, Masterpiece.
Say hey, Masterpiece. Say hey.
Hi everyone. Peace and love.
Yes, and we are the co-founders and co-owners of Project Human X. And we just wanted to give you guys a little tour of what we do here at the gallery and show you guys some really cool art made by creators in Southern Illinois. So here we have our Earth Month art show. And as you can see, the theme is nature. Everything is made by Southern Illinois artists and creators. Our goals is to nurture the creative development of the community. So we welcome all kinds of art. We love seeing people do art because it has such a positive impact on the mind, and it just makes people happier, calmer, and great to be around. So that's what we're here for. Whether you've been an artist for such a long time or you haven't even picked up a crayon or a pencil since kindergarten, we are here to help you bring out your inner artist and see that you really are creative and you have so much potential. Thank you guys for going on this tour with me of the gallery, but now I'm excited to start painting, so let's get to it. Tonight we're gonna have a very fun, relaxing, and creative time creating this piece I call One Home, One Love. And I had unity, being together, and spreading love, peace, and joy in mind as I created it. And my goal is to share that energy and that love with you all tonight so you guys can leave with a painting that you absolutely adore and feel relaxed and healed afterwards. So thank you for tuning in, and let's get started. So for our first step, we're going to make the outline for Earth. And what I did was I found a pencil and a household object that was circular. And I made a circle by tracing the outside of the object onto the canvas. And I did this in the middle of the canvas. And voila, just a plain circle, and I know that's gonna be my Earth. Next, we're going to make the glow that happens around Earth. It's a really nice light blue. So to make that color, I mixed white, a large amount of white, with a tiny bit of blue. This particular blue is a turquoise color, so you can add a little bit, just a little bit of yellow to get this color. But it's gonna look like this. It's very light. And I'm going to take my small square brush and just paint around the circle. Next, I'm going to add a little bit more of blue to that very light hue of blue to make it a little bit darker. And I'm going to make another ring around the circle. That is this color. And if you can see this color, it's right next to the light blue and it's not blended very well. So if we want to blend it better, we can take our brush without washing it off in the water, dip it in white, and paint over the border of where these two colors match up, and spread this color outward. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow, just a tiny bit of yellow, to this blue mixture. And it's gonna turn a little green. I'm gonna use this green to do my next layer. Kind of like a sea blue, a sea green. Nice big circular motions. Just moving my little square brush into these circular motions with this calming blue. It's really nice. It's really beautiful what we're creating together. So now we have a little bit of turquoise coming in for the next ring. So I'm going to take my turquoise color and put that on this outside ring. It's my favorite color. It's actually kind of teal. It's more of a tealy color. Tealy, is that a word? Tealy, it's a tealy color. Tealy. Oh, that's so beautiful. And another way to blend your colors is by dipping your brush in the water and painting over the borders. I'm going to take my brush, dip it in my paint water, and let the water soak in the canvas, and I will blend. Another way of blending is by making a half step of each color. So here goes my turquoise. And I'm gonna put a little bit of that with the blue that I used previously. Mix those together and then paint over the border right here. And that'll be my half step in between these colors. Now my shades of blue are getting a little darker, and I added a little bit of black to my turquoise. And that's where this rich, dark teal color is coming into play. Because we want the outside, the outer layers of this painting to be dark, so that when we put on our words in white, it'll pop out. It'll pop out. Lastly, make it just a smidge darker by adding a little more black to that navy blue. Now I'm going to smooth out the lines in my painting, because if you look closely, you can see all the strokes, but I'm smoothing it out by using my bigger brush, my bigger square brush, and just getting rid of those streaks so everything looks like it's blended together cohesively. So next we're going to add the stars all over our painting, and how we do that is we do splatter with the paint. Now there's two cool ways on how to do that, and I'll show you both techniques. So the first technique is by taking your square brush, dipping it in the white or whatever color you want to create splatter with, and you take your index finger, pull the bristles back like this, and then you release it onto the canvas. The second technique is by dipping your square brush in the white or whatever color you want to do splatter with, and you're going to pat it on the back. All over the canvas, and the splatter will show up. Next, I'm going to take my cobalt blue and color in this white spot on our canvas. For our next step, we're going to make the swirls around the earth. It's these white and yellow lines, and it gives the earth a little bit of motion as if it's moving. So I'm going to take my pointy brush, my round tip brush, dip it in the yellow, and just make curved lines around the earth, as many as I want. And then I'll do the same for the white. This is looking really great, you guys. Okay, for our next step, while we let this outside layer dry, we're going to make the Greenery of the continent. So I gave my earth a second layer of green just so that it pops a little more. And now we only have 2 steps left to complete our painting. Yay! So next I'm going to create the flowers that decorate the earth. It gives it a little more flavor. And as you can see on here, I've got some pink, yellow, red. I think I'm gonna add a little orange to it too. So the flowers are warmer colors. To make pink, we're going to mix a little bit of white with a little bit of red. Another on the side. So now we have our last and final step, which is the calligraphy on the top and the bottom, which reads "One Home, One Love." And to do this, I'm going to use my round tip brush, the pointy brush, dip it in white, and you only need a little bit. And I'm going to use the same font and now you guys have a finished work of art. I hope that you guys feel proud of yourselves and feel relaxed and relieved after painting. It's just so good for the soul, and I love watching the colors mix. It's just so much fun. So I had a great time with y'all, and I hope that you guys come by to Project Human X, the Art Center and Gallery, so you guys can see what we do in person, in real time, and just experience the art that we're surrounded in. It's great, it really is. So check out our website at projecthumanx.com. That's where all of our painting classes and our events are. And I hope to see all of you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.
So that was Cree with Project Human X, showing off the 2 paintings that were commissioned by the Rotary Club of Carbondale for our 100th anniversary, our Centennial Celebration this year. And I think it's great that from right here in Carbondale to all around the world, our Rotary Club has a significant impact. So if you're interested in bidding on those pieces, they are available for auction. And I think it's great that the world view that we have in those photos is from Carbondale out to the world, and that's what we've been doing with our 100 Little Things project this year. We're over 70 projects in already, 100 service projects, both locally and around the nation, around the world, things we've done to impact the community. So I think it's fitting that our next presentation today is from Rotary International President Holger Knaack. He's the current president of Rotary International. His home club is the Rotary Club of Herzogtum Lauenburg-Mollin in Germany. He's the CEO of Knaack KG, a real estate company. Previously, he was a partner and general manager in Knaack Enterprises, a 125-year-old family business. A Rotary member since 1992, Knaack has served Rotary as treasurer, director, moderator, member, and chair of several committees. And a representative for the Council on Legislation, zone coordinator, training leader, and district governor. Please welcome Holger Knaack.
Hello, fellow Rotarians. I'm delighted to share in your celebration today. Celebrating a 100th anniversary is a major milestone in the Rotary world. And my only disappointment is that I couldn't be with you to celebrate firsthand. I also want to congratulate you for finding an innovative way to keep on celebrating and bringing people together as we continue physical distancing, especially for large gatherings. As I have watched the many ways you and all within the family of Rotary have opened opportunities close to home and around the world, I have never been more proud to be a Rotarian. Change can be very difficult and challenging, but we should embrace it because it points us toward the next 100 years in Rotary. We will get through this by working together and taking care of each other, which is just what Rotary members do. Being a friend for life means paying special attention when times are most difficult. Some of our Rotarians are having more difficulty adapting to change than others, so please pay special attention to them. This will be important going forward because the rate of change will not slow down. Our Rotary Action Plan calls on us to increase our ability to adapt. For clubs, that means finding new ways to connect and meet. We are looking to you for innovation and are eager to share your best ideas. One way we can adapt more efficiently is to make the most of our enhanced relationship with Rotaractors. They are ambitious, energetic, and impatient. We need their kind of leadership now more than ever. And we also need your leadership in your club, in your community. I encourage you to do everything you can to help your community to adapt to these difficult and unusual circumstances. Even in the midst of so much uncertainty, we have all seen examples of how people all over the world are safely stepping up to demonstrate service above self. These are challenging times, but Rotary has survived even worse times. We helped keep society together through 2 world wars, a Great Depression, and other catastrophes. And our commitment to disease prevention and treatment has helped mitigate situations like the one we are experiencing now. Let us not forget our commitment to eradicate polio. The vital infrastructure our effort created and sustains is assisting countries around the world in their COVID-19 preparations and response. And this is why we cannot step back from our support and commitment to Polio Plus. We have a great legacy to be proud of, and your milestone is a celebration of that legacy. But the greatest legacy we can give to the world is to keep Rotary's values alive for many years to come. We will do that by living the 4-way test and staying true to our core values. And we will do that by leveraging all the gifts we have received by being part of this great organization and making sure that we will build on it. In projects big and small, in all parts of the world, Rotary means many different things, but it always opens opportunities. Rotary opens opportunities for us and the people we serve. Congratulations on your important milestone, and thank you.
Thank you, Holger, for that inspiring message. It really is fantastic, the impact that we have had around the world. Once again, I'd like to remind everyone, if you're interested in bidding on those 2 art pieces, you can visit the auction site that is listed in the chat. Our next presenter today is Lorraine Cavitaio, the District Governor of District 6510. She is a 2nd-generation Rotarian and has been a Rotarian since 1996. Lorraine is an attorney with Sandberg Phoenix in O'Fallon, Illinois. She is also a CPA. As her parents were active in Rotary, it has always been a part of her life. So it's probably been a little bit longer than 1996, the official record that she's been an active Rotarian. When she became an adult, there was not any question that she would be a Rotarian. Please welcome Lorraine.
Thank you very much, Rick, for that introduction. And thank you, all of you, for inviting me to be here today to help you to celebrate your 100 years as a Rotary Club, which is absolutely phenomenal. I'd have to say, as Holger did, Rotary opens opportunities. And as is going to be discussed, I believe, later in the program with the history of your club, you're going to hear about all the many opportunities that have been opened by the Rotary Club of Carbondale. It is through your club that you have been able to inspire many over the last 100 years. It was Paul Harris that said, if Rotary is to realize its proper destiny, it must be evolutionary at times and revolutionary on occasions. I could venture to guess that over the last 100 years, this club, I know for certain, has been evolutionary in watching the opening slides and seeing the various pictures, not only in the way the pictures changed over time as a result of the evolution of photography, but also as the club changed over time with those pictures. So it has been evolutionary for sure in that sense. And I would venture to guess over the last 100 years, you've seen many things. In this area, we've had other pandemics, the Spanish flu, almost 100 years ago, so around the time your club was started. We also have polio and the eradication of polio in the United States, which was all over in the United States as well. So I would say, on behalf of Paul Harris, that your club actually realized its proper destiny because it was both evolutionary and revolutionary over the last 100 years. You now have to look at how you're going to move into the next 100 years and how you will be impacting and opening opportunities in the next 100 years for not just the Carbondale area, but for the entire region, District 6510, and the entire world, and all of us here in Rotary. And with this new virtual world and this opportunity that this pandemic has opened up for us as a result of making a lot of us learn this virtual world, there is an entire international opportunity that perhaps some of us didn't partake in as part of Rotary before. So use that opportunity and move forward and continue to be evolutionary and revolutionary. And in that regard, as you look to the future, our RI president, who you just heard from, was quoted as saying, to be prepared for the future, Rotary must continue to be revolutionary and must believe in the power of youth. Why that is so important in making that change and leading towards the youth is they are our future. For your club to make it the next 100 years, you need to focus on that youth. Those are the ones that will be here in 100 years. I don't know that medicine has been progressive enough that any of us here today will be here in 100 years, but maybe there are some that will. If not, we need those youth and the power of the youth. And as Holger said, they have learned so much more over time in the way that information and technology has made everything available, that we need their help to help us to continue to be not only evolutionary, but revolutionary over the next 100 years. I am certain your club over the years has seen many changes, but certainly over this past year has seen many changes. And this virtual world that we've been in has been a huge opportunity to allow Rotarians who couldn't make it to the meeting to still participate. I hope that you will continue to do that as you go forward. and continue to come up with things like your 100 projects, which is, in my opinion, and what I've heard throughout the district, that's a first. So I'm going to call that a revolutionary decision by the Rotary Club of Carbondale. So I wish you great success. I wish that you will open many opportunities over the next 100 years, not only for yourselves, but for Carbondale, for the region, for the district, and for Rotary International, not only to enhance your own lives and your own club, but to enhance all of our lives. So please be revolutionary and open those opportunities over the next 100 years and help us to get to the next normal, as they're saying. With that, I would say thank you for allowing me to be with you today and to present to you in this virtual world. And unfortunately, I don't have the bell to provide to you. Oh, actually, Jerry's holding it up for me there. The bell, because it is virtual, is now in Carbondale, and the district is giving you and offering you in honor of this 100th anniversary, a brand new bell for your club for the next 100 years. I hope it rings often and proudly as you go forth and open opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. It really has been fun this past year with our 100 projects. We've launched another satellite club in the community in Murfreesboro. And I want to thank everyone at the district for their support, all the district officers, and all the members of our club for all the hard work to get as far into this 100 Little Things project that we have. As we look at our 100 years, our centennial here, it's important that we also look back. At this time, I'd like to introduce Walter Ray. He's a political papers archivist in the Special Collections Research Center at SIU, where he has worked since 2006. He's been the curator of the Carbondale Rotary Club's records since 2013. So thank you, Walter, for all the hard work you put together today and the slideshow at the beginning, and welcome to our club and our celebration.
Thank you, Rick. And let me just say that it's an honor to be here today to help you celebrate your 100th birthday. And it's also an honor for Special Collections to be the repository for the records of your club, which we have through the efforts of Jim Grant and with another large donation from Sid Matthews, the late Sid Matthews. We also have the District 6510 records with the help of Christine McGuire. I want to thank Christine and Gayla Borgognoni for helping pick out images for today's history presentation. And I hope you enjoy this walk, or I should say this march through Carbondale Rotary Club's history. Okay, Jennifer, thank you.
the things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
In the beginning of creation, there was no you, but of the things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
In the beginning of creation, there was no you, but today we are Rotary. We are creating inspiration. It's not brand new, we are the people of action. It's never too late to join our hands and make the world a better place for you and me. Reaching out for one another is what the Creator sent us to do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all?
Thank you,
I-
Walt. Fantastic presentation. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'll take it. I'll take the praise. Thank you. I wanted to share with you just how to actually look to seeing what we have here at Special Collections with your club. If I can share my screen here. This is our Special Collections Research Center homepage. To find the club records, we have a new platform for our finding aids. So you click How to Find, Archival Collections, this Archivera catalog. And then there's a search box. And I would suggest typing in Rotary Club records. You're looking for the collection level, record levels collection. You click on the name. That gives you a little history of the club. And then you see it's divided into 4 series: organizational records, subject project files, print and near print of photos and memorabilia. You click on a series and it'll give you a list of boxes. And then you click on each box. You can look through the folders in the box, minutes, and then you go backwards, go back and to look at the next box. So, and then I have one plea, and that's, as you probably noticed, maybe looking through these at the boxes, we have a lot of material from 1980 onward. We could use material from an earlier period and also for the last decade, especially if you have photographs that you want to share. You can contribute them and it'll become part of the Rotary Club's records. So again, thank you and happy anniversary. And I don't know if there are questions for me. It said question and answer period, but.
Well, if you have questions, Walter's email was on the slide earlier. You can also reach out to Christine, Gayla, or myself, and we'd be happy to forward you his information. But Walter, I really want to thank you for putting that together. It's a very impressive collection that we've got there, and I thank you for digging through that and finding those fantastic artifacts.
Christine and Gayla certainly helped with that. So
yes,
it was a pleasure.
Thank you all so much. It's impressive to see how much impact we've had both in Carbondale and around the world with the outbound exchanges and the traveling that we've had. If you'd like to continue to support that program, please do. Our auction site will be open until our club meeting on Wednesday. So please visit that auction site and we'll check it out if you're interested in purchasing one of those art pieces. At this time, we do have the pleasure of having one of our outbound exchange students with us today. Allison Rendellman was our outbound exchange student to Germany in 2012. during her junior year at Carbondale High School. After graduating from CCHS in 2014, she went on to study economics at Northeastern University in Boston and has since relocated to Chicago, where she works as a client manager at financial research firm Y-Charts. She is the daughter of Andrea and John Rendellman. Welcome, Allison, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. All right, let me share my screen here. Okay, so thanks everyone, and thanks so much for that introduction there, Rick. As you said, my name is Allison, and I was an outbound exchange student from Carbondale going to a city called Augsburg in southern Germany in 2012 to 2013, my junior year. So when Rotary invited me to speak at this centennial celebration, they told me I had about 5 minutes to share my story. And so I thought I'd break down my presentation by minute. So I'm going to go by each part here. So, all right. So in the first minute, I just want to put you in the shoes of someone who is that you're sponsoring, who's about to go on exchange. So I want you guys to
I'm
think
sorry
back
to interrupt, but I think I'm not seeing your screen. Maybe you could try sharing it again. Does anyone
Yeah.
else see it? It just looks black.
It says your screen is paused. Let me do a new share. Okay, let me know if you can see it now.
Looks good. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm so glad, because that's half of the presentation of the pictures. So the only thing you really missed is the first picture before, but we'll start here. Anyways, I want you guys to put yourself in the shoes of, think back to when you were 16, 17, or 18, as that's usually the time when you go on exchange. Some of you might have to think back further than others, but think about the kind of problems or what your life was around that time. Maybe you go to homecoming because you're in high school, sitting around the lunch table with your friends. And then maybe you even get your license and you have a car because you can drive a car at 16. But then you get this crazy idea and you see a pamphlet put out by the local Rotary Club that you could do something really different for a year. And that's go on exchange, not necessarily knowing where, but just going somewhere else and living for a year. So then you meet some like-minded, other maybe crazy people, other exchange students from around your district that the local clubs are going to sponsor. And Rotary does a really great job of setting you up and gearing you up for the best time that you can have, and basically a successful exchange. You even do something as professional as making your very first business card, because they point out you're going to meet people from so many walks of life that a great way to keep in contact is to actually have, a business card about yourself. So in my second minute here, I call it the beginning. This is me at the St. Louis Lambert Airport. My dad's dropping me off, and I have my Rotary jacket on with all my pins there, ready to fly to Germany. And a lot of times they tell you that you're probably going to stick out when you go abroad somewhere, wherever you're going to live. You're going to really be different. I had the unique experience of actually fitting right in. As a tall, blonde, white girl from the US, I actually fit in pretty well with my first German host family, as you can see. A lot of tall people there in Germany. Then just getting used to, you have to unpack your clothes in a new wardrobe. You have a new room. Getting used to all that. You have a new city that you get used to. Augsburg was a city of about, I want to say, maybe 60,000. It was a pretty large city in the south, and it wasn't too far from the other city of Munich. Something else you got used to is you kind of had baked in friends. So these are the exchange students from all other parts of the world who are visiting the same district that you are in Germany. And everyone's really willing to meet with other people and be friends there. So in my third minute, I want to talk about assimilation. So here we are enjoying a hiking weekend, and we're already drinking beer, and people are already smoking cigarettes. Assimilation can come in many forms. In one way, it's just getting used to the public transportation system, the awesome public transportation system that Germany and a lot of European countries have. Assimilation can mean you go to your very first Oktoberfest with your new friends. Assimilation can also mean you accidentally drink too many beers at your first Oktoberfest with your new friends. And assimilation can mean that you get to come back and also come to Oktoberfest. And this time manage your liquor a lot better because you've learned from your experience over there. And you also have the right gear with you. I had an actual dirndl, and this time I was going with my host family. They rented out a whole actual like picnic table for the family there. Simulation can mean seeing cigarette vending machines. By all accounts, you can just buy as long as you have a swiped credit card. There's no ID check. I had to get used to a new school system, taking classes every day in German and also trying to make German friends. These next couple pictures are a little unflattering, but that's because a lot of my German friends were camera shy. I would say Germans are a lot that way, but it finally happened several months into my exchange as I got more used to the culture and the language, that I truly made friends with the other German kids in my school, and I got to hang out with them as well. Near the end, you know, I had really joined this group, and they cared for me so much that they actually threw me a goodbye barbecue. So this is one of my friends who made me a cake, and they really wanted me to take pictures so I could go back home and like show my friends, all my new friends that I had made. And this is me. You can see I look a lot more relaxed, a lot more comfortable with my host family. It's been a long time. My hair is longer. This is near the end of my exchange. And then I want to talk about the after. So the experience that exchange gave me meant confidence in new situations and the ability to just observe and listen and pick up, you know, what are some differences in my cultures from my upbringing to others. So with that, I was able to go abroad to Greece during my college experience. And that was like a walk in the park, because Greece for 3 months compared to Germany for 11 months is a lot different. After that, not even exchange, I took summer classes at the London School of Economics in college as well. When you can do something like that, especially in a country where they actually speak the same language as you, that's like going to New York. It's super easy. So, and I still keep in touch with a lot of my exchange student friends to this day. This is my friend Federica. She's from Palermo, Sicily, and I got to visit her in Palermo several years after our exchange. And in fact, when COVID really got as big of a presence in the world as it did, a lot of my exchange student friends and I messaged each other and kept in contact. Federica told me firsthand about how things were getting so serious in Italy, and I'm so grateful to have that connection to, you know, some friend that I met while we were both on exchange in Germany, to now she's giving me, you know, true pandemic and health advice. So I'll end it here, and I appreciate you guys giving me the stage. I do just want to say, as an exchange student in Germany, I did meet exchange students from other programs, and I truly believe Rotary is one of the best, if not the best, because the people who make up the Rotary Club are members of your community, and your commitment to service above self and really sponsoring these exchange meant that everyone had good intentions with going abroad, and you also made this program affordable for so many people who can't necessarily afford to go live in another country for another year. Whereas other exchange programs a lot of times have you put up a big down payment or pay a lot of money to actually like sponsor someone. So I'm so grateful to the Rotary Club of Carbondale, that actually sponsored me, and the organization as a whole, because of my time and my experience on exchange, I definitely have connections not only in my local community, but around the world. So thank you guys so much for this opportunity, and I really am grateful that I got to celebrate your centennial with you all. Thanks again.
Thank you, Allison. That's a fantastic presentation, and I think it shows the impact that what our Rotary Club here has on the youth in our community. As Lorraine stated earlier, the youth are the future, and it's great to see that here you are, a college grad that's, you know, working and has had so many great experiences, and that the experience you had with our club was a great kickstart for that. So thank you once again, Allison, for that. At this time, I'm going to remind everybody the auction is open for those art pieces we showed at the beginning, from project commissioned through Project Human X. And I see Sharon just posted in the chat German that I can't recognize and can't understand at all. I had to have Allison did a great job of translating and giving me phonetic pronunciations for Holger's name and that information. So there's another shout out and a thank you to Allison for that. It is now my pleasure to introduce our president-elect, Jerry Malumby, who will be presenting next. Jerry has been a Rotarian since 1979. He was the club president in 1996, and he's been a member for 42 years, active member in our club for 42 years. In fact, 25 years ago, 1996, Jerry was the club president during our 75th anniversary. So Jerry's been secretary for several years. He was a chair for the District Group Study Exchange for 5 years. Basically, if there's a project in the community in Rotary and we need somebody to take charge or be a volunteer, Jerry's right there. He's been active with the Rotary Club for 42 years, with Keep Carbondale Beautiful for over 10 years. He's active in the Carbondale Unitarian Fellowship and has had several leadership roles in those capacities. Jerry is a social worker who has formally retired from Gateway Foundation. Prior to that, he worked at Jackson County Community Mental Health Center. He still maintains a small private practice, and while technically retired, as those of you in the club know and those in the community, he is as active, if not more active, than he's ever been. So, Jerry, thank you so much for being our president-elect this year and for leading us into the next year. And the floor is yours, sir.
Jerry, you are muted.
Thank you, Rick. I just really enjoyed being in Rotary, and I guess I enjoy it so much I'll be president-elect for this coming year. We have quite a vibrant club here. Somebody in the chat mentioned that they didn't see the bell clearly, so I'm going to try to put it up here and see, but there's a lot of reflection from it. So okay, it's doing weird things. Actually, you'll have to come to one of our meetings to see it in person and read the inscription there. But anyway, the Rotary Club of Carbondale has been providing service to the community for over 100 years now. We've accomplished an awful lot of things, providing services and making donations. Today, we celebrate the centennial part of the Rotary Club of Carbondale. But today is the beginning of the next 100 years. Our project this last year has been this 100 little things that you've heard about. We collected and distributed socks and flashlights and sent greeting cards, just a whole bunch of things. Go to the website if you want to see all of the different things we've done. Really interesting idea. But one of the little things that we wanted to do was to start a scholarship fund in memory of one of our long-term members and a past district governor, Harvey Welch. And so as the centennial came up, we thought, you know, we would like to do something with that. And so that's what our plan is. We have set a very ambitious goal of trying to put $100,000 in our foundation, and then that foundation will help us continue to provide services to the community over the next 50 years, 100 years. But it will also help us start up a scholarship in Harvey's name for 1 or 2 individuals, depending on the proceeds from what's in the foundation. So that's the direction that we're moving with this $100,000. Now it's pretty ambitious, but this club has proved that we're up to being ambitious and accomplishing some really, really great stuff. We're asking that anybody who can give $1,000 to this worthwhile, to the foundation, we would encourage them to seriously consider that. I have considered that, and I am going to be having my broker forward $100 to the Carbondale Rotary Foundation, so that it's coming out of my minimum distribution money, and by having it directly forwarded, it's not going to be taxed. So that's an advantage. The other thing for us all to consider is recently we have gotten stimulus money from the government. And for those who didn't need it or whatever, I have a suggestion that this might be a really great way to use that. So, so we're asking, we're asking, but whatever you can give is going to be very helpful. And it plants the seed, it plants the foundation for the next 100 years, so that we can confidently take on projects and execute them. So we've been real successful at doing that. And so I'd like you to join me. Service above self is one of the drivers for Rotary. And those who have given service or who have donated money know that the return on that investment of time or money is always greater than whatever the amount given was. So in summary, I would like you to consider this. Another thing I'd like you to consider is, have you thought about becoming a member of Rotary? Carbondale is blessed. We have 3 clubs, and you can choose morning, noon, or night. We suggest that you can visit all 3 and decide which one fits for you, both in timing and in temperament. Everyone has its own personality. So that would be another way for you, not just to give of money, but also to give of your time and become involved in the community. So that's the pitch that we're giving today. That's what we'd like to involve you with, involve you in our work as we go forward. And we look forward to another successful 100 years. So with that, I'll turn it back to you, Rick.
All right, thank you, Jerry. And I'd like to thank Jerry and a couple others, including our sponsors, AES Solar, Egyptian Electric Cooperative, and First Mid Bank and Trust, for joining me in contributing $1,000 to the Rotary Club Foundation. The goal here, again, is to establish an endowment that will last the club for 50 to 100 years more, hopefully longer, and we'll be able to continue the great work that we've put in with our local scholarships and our grant projects that we give throughout the community. If you'd like to do that, you can visit our website at rotaryofcarbondale.org. There's a donate button at the top if you'd like to put that in if you need to make a credit card contribution. Or you can email me or Jim Grant or the rotaryofcarbondale@gmail.com website. So I'll put that into the chat here momentarily. It is rotaryofcarbondale@gmail.com, and I will be sending everyone who's joined us today a Google form through that email site if you'd like to make a pledge that way. So once again, want to thank AES Solar, Egyptian Electric Cooperative, and First Mid Bank and Trust for being sponsors for this event. I'd like to once again thank all of our speakers, our artists, Cree, Holger, Knaack, for joining us via video here, Lorraine Cabataio, Walter Ray, Allison Rendellman, and Jerry Malumby. Thank you all for joining us today and making this celebration as great as it is. As much as we'd love to all be together, we could do that here soon, but we want to celebrate that 100th anniversary and the centennial of our club. At this time, as we close out the meeting, I'd like to ask everyone to please join me in the 4-way test. So as we close each of our meetings, we're going to close our annual, our centennial celebration as well. So if everyone could please join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the
Is it
truth?
the truth?
Second, is it
Is
fair
it fair
to all concerned?
concerned?
Third, will it build goodwill
goodwill
and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you all for joining us again today.